Okay, this is going to be a real quick video on how to winterize your 2021 Winnebago Revel. Open up all the low point valves on the van. Turn your water pump on. That's going to accelerate the discharge of the water. If you don't want to wear out the water pump, go ahead and turn it off, and it's just going to take a lot longer to drain. But depending on how much water you got in there, it might take an hour. If it's just a quarter of a tank or something, it's not a big deal. Open up your gray water, pop that valve, make sure there's nothing in there. You're going to be draining some fluid out of there later. Once it's done draining, close those valves, make sure the water pump's off. You're going to go in the back here. You're going to switch that panel to siphon, so it's going to suck water from that water inlet. And I'm just using 1 gallon, and that's going to be plenty for, we're going to see some temperatures in the high 20s. This is just cheap insurance. Thread that onto your water inlet. I've done this like at night when it's freezing and snowing. This can go fairly quickly. So put that in. You're in siphon mode. Turn the water pump on. It's going to drain that gallon out of there in no time. Now, that's just going into your freshwater tank. You're putting a gallon of antifreeze in there. There's probably some residual water in there. If it's going to be really, really cold, you might want to put 2 gallons in to blend it in. But for 25 to 30 degrees, this is fine, or at least in my experience. Once that's full, turn the water pump off. Pull the hose off, switch it back to dry camping mode, so it's going to just suck out of the tank if you're boondocking. So you got that 1 gallon of antifreeze in there. Turn the water pump on, open up each valve, and just make sure you got pink fluid coming out of each water source. I think at this point, yeah, you can see it's a little foamy there. Wife didn't quite get the video the way I wanted it, but that's okay. So you do both cold and hot. Verify you've got antifreeze coming through that connection. Once you're done there, you're going to go inside the van. And now you need to repeat that same thing in the bathroom, in the sink, hot, until you see pink, cold, and it's going to blow clear again because it's just the way it is. And then shut it off, purge that. That's running that into your gray water. Now you're in your bathroom. These are big bathrooms, a lot of room in here. Same deal. Flush the toilet until you see pink. There you go. Open the valve, shut it. I give it an extra squirt just to put a little reserve antifreeze in the toilet when the valve's closed. Hook up your shower. Going to do the same thing here, hot and cold until you see the antifreeze coming out. Shut it off, open the other valve. There you go. You're good to go. At this point, yeah, you got pink coming through now. So at this point, all the water connections in the van have antifreeze in them. Going to disconnect the shower, let that drain into the shower drain, shut that up, clean up best you can. You're going to turn your water pump off at this point, and just for cheap insurance, I go down and I open up all the low point valves until I see pink coming out of them as well. Well, I guess I'm ahead of myself. I'm going over to the cassette. So we're going to open up the cassette, pull it out. Now in my case, you can drain the cassette and put a little bit of antifreeze in it and put it back in the van. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in my garage because the garage is not going to freeze, and the cassette's empty, but I just don't want to risk it sitting out there and freezing. Gray water now, open that up. You're going to see nothing but antifreeze coming out. Shut it before it completely drains if you want, or let it go all the way. I'm letting it go all the way out, and then at this point you are pretty much done. Yeah, like I said, I open these valves just a bit until I see pink coming out of all the low points. So I know all the valves, all the openings, all the water lines now have antifreeze in them. Make sure your pump's off, turn off your lights, shut your van down. You are now winterized.